Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? I told y'all last video it's about to be a marathon. We're back on our consistency game. We're back every day, maybe multiple times a day, you know what I mean? But anyways, we're moving straight into the Darrell Brooks case. Now, the last video I just did was one medical examiner, and I realized that there is another medical examiner who did the younger child and a few other people. So, we're going to go ahead and tap into this. We're going to see what she had to say. She's on the more emotional side of things, and she breaks it down for us. So let's go ahead and check this thing out. Everybody get the things you guys need. As usual, I hope you still got that Thanksgiving food left over. I still got a few plates left. We're rationing things out. But anyways, people, let's get straight into this thing. Yo, while I was recording this video, my merchandise just cleared, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys didn't know, I've been working on merch for a little while, mainly getting the website up and up to par and, making it a smooth experience, trying to figure out how much it would cost to make it. Guess what, people? We finally got the merch out. It is live. We have name brand shit. The hoodies are champion. So it's, you guys got the champion brand. It's going to be branded by AG Tactical as well. And, there's a nice little selection, I think, right below me as we speak. So make sure you guys go check out the merch. It is now live. It is now available for y'all. Look out for discounts. Right now, I just dropped it, so I'm just leaving it there. But just, check back every once in a while to the agtacticalstore.com. Stop playing with us. But anyways, people, I'm excited. Go check it out and, have a good time. Let's get into this video.
Ma'am, what did you do in this case in terms of examinations of Ms. Owen?
On November,
Generally speaking, I'm sorry.
okay, on November 22nd, I performed her external examination, which involves documentation of all her clothing and jewelry, her identifying features such as stature, body weight, hair color, eye color, any scars, tattoos, and then we proceed with documentation of injuries.
And did you also create a summary of the injuries that you located on Ms. Owen?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show for you on the screen in front of you what's been marked as States Exhibit 163. If you can tell me when you can see that on the screen in front of you. And I did provide Mr. Brooks a copy of both the autopsy.
Yo, Opper literally whispered to her. She's like, hey, that little dumbass over there is going to object because he doesn't have it. Make sure he has it. That shit is crazy. It's funny how catering these two women are to this guy, but it's only because they know the more he speaks, the more he does stuff, the more it works for their case. And it's a very strange dynamic to help the defendant so much to, in turn, put him in jail. Crazy dynamic.
Great. If you can tell me when you can see that on the screen in front of you.
Yeah, she said Brooks is gonna some in the corner. Yeah, they're thinking about him, bro. They're thinking about him. Shout out the two prosecutors, because they left no stone unturned at all. Fuck you talking about? Like,
Provide Mr. Brooks a copy of both the autopsy protocol as well as the diagram that's going to show on the screen.
Consent to being called that name, Your Honor, for the record.
Ma'am, do you see? Is it showing up in front of your screen? And Exhibit 163, is that the diagram that you prepared to summarize your findings in the autopsy protocol for Leanna Owen?
Yes.
And does it accurately depict the injuries that are notated or described in the autopsy protocol?
Yes.
I would ask the court to accept Exhibit 62 and 163 into evidence.
Objection.
hearsay.
The objection to both, each objection is noted. They're overruled. Exhibits 62 and 163 are both received. Permission to publish are, I believe only 163 is what you asked me for, is granted.
Yeah, it was on
Bro, shut the fuck up. What, like his, every time he gets his little wide eye, bright eye, like, oh, I found something, you just want to poke his eyes out, bro. It's just like, shut the fuck up, you stupid little, like, he really has a child brain. And whenever I say that, I don't break it down. It's like, bro really operates as a child. Like, he never passed the age 12, apparently. You know, like when kids try to catch you on technicalities, but you said that, but you said, you know, little shit like that makes like little shit like that on a grown man just makes you want to open hand smack the fucking mask off his face. Like, what type of shit is this? yeah. They said it was only one. They said it was only one, bro. Oh my god, like relax, get off the prosecution's dick a little bit, just chill. You know you're going to jail. Just ride it out. Like, have fun with it.
Receive permission to publish, or I believe only 163 is what you asked me for, is granted.
Yeah, it was only one asked for.
Permission to publish 163. That's what I said.
Thank you.
That's what I said.
Ma'am, can you briefly describe what this document?
I'm sorry for all the sniffling, y'all. If you guys hear extra sniffling, I'm a little bit sick, but I'm trying to keep it out of the mic as much as possible.
Exhibit 163 portrays.
This diagram depicts Leanna Owen's injuries.
Man, she got fucked up.
The red represents open wounds, lacerations, or abrasions, which are scrapes to the skin. Blue is for bruising or contusions.
This lady had a spinal fracture, bro. Holy shit. Skull fracture. What does that say? Nasal fracture. Rib fracture. Oh. The outside of her body barely got messed up. She just got bruises and scrapes and lacerations. But when it comes to the internal damage, holy shit. There's an X on the chest. Sternum fracture. Damn.
Black is internal injuries or skeletal fractures.
And in performing the autopsy procedure on Miss Owen, what was the cause of her death?
Multiple blunt force traumatic injuries.
Specifically for the injuries that she sustained, can you describe the fatal injuries for the jury?
Objection, leading witness.
Overruled. She may answer.
Leanna Owen had injuries to her head, spine, torso, and viscera, or her internal organs.
Oh.
The combination of all these injuries led to her death, but she did sustain isolated injuries to her upper cervical spine, or her neck spine, and aortic laceration.
The spine fracture was a secondary injury. That's insane to me. He for sure did not care about the body under his car. He just was driving, not caring, hating the world. Like, you know, they say that it was some men just like to see the world burn. That's Brooks right there for sure. Like, even if it was black folks in the parade, I'm pretty sure, because a lot of people tried to pull race into it. I don't even think it was about race. If there was black folks in the crowd, he would have ran over them too, because he just don't give a fuck. That's how he's set. That's how his mindset works. That's how his mindset works. There's no in-betweens. He just don't give a fuck. That's it. Shit.
The aorta is the largest artery in the body. That would have been fatal within seconds to a couple of minutes.
And would all those injuries be consistent with being struck by a moving SUV weighing approximately 3,300 pounds?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm next going to direct your attention to, did you perform an autopsy on an individual identified as Virginia Sorensen?
Yes.
And do you have her autopsy protocol in front of you, Exhibit 63?
Yes.
And do you have a diagram detailing Miss Sorensen's injuries on in Exhibit 164? Oh,
I don't have the diagram.
you do not have a diagram.
Remember, I'm surprised Brooks didn't say objection. She only showed one diagram, Your Honor. Objection. Remember, bright eyes. Remember, Your Honor. Remember, they only did one. Free me, Your Honor. They're breaking protocol. Free Brooks. They're breaking protocol. Dumbass.
And once again, this is 164.
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Do you see it in front of you?
Yes.
Does the documentation in Exhibit 164, is that a summary of your findings from the autopsy protocol for Ms. Sorensen?
Yes.
I would ask the court to admit Exhibits 164 and 63 and publish 164.
Objection.
Objection.
How'd I know? I bet you he's gonna hit them with like leading. Bro, if you don't shut the hell up before I give you an elbow. Man, if I was in that courtroom, bro, I'm surprised the officers didn't kind of mess up and kind of, elbow him in the ribs or kind of like break his nose real quick by accident. Accidental, Your Honor, he fell on his face and we just didn't catch him in time. That's why his nose is broken. Like, sorry, Your Honor. That's what I would have been on.
Obviously, 164 is on the screen. Has Exhibit 63, the copy, been provided to Mr. Brooks?
Correct. The autopsy protocol for Virginia Sorensen as well as the diagram contained in 164 have both been provided to Mr. Brooks.
Objection. I don't consent to that name, nor do I agree to it.
Oh. All right. Exhibits 63 and 164 are both received. Permission to publish 164 is granted.
Thank you. Let me know when you see it in the screen in front of you.
Yes.
Okay. Again, ma'am, the injuries that are detailed in Exhibit 164 that's showing on the screen, was that exhibit created as a result of your findings in the autopsy protocol for Ms. Sorensen?
Yes.
And can you describe for the jury what injuries you discovered? Well, first of all, strike that. Did you perform an external and an internal examination of Ms. Sorensen?
Objection. Reading the witness.
Overruled. She may answer.
Yes.
When did you
Man,
perform?
look at all the bruising and shit. But what's crazy? Oh, there's a little whistle right there. What's crazy is that that's not even the worst of the damage. She's all scraped up, bruised up, whatever. You go to the inside, sternum fracture, arm fracture, nasal fracture. Just it's terrible.
Perform those?
November 22nd, 2021.
And during the autopsy, what injuries did you discover?
Damn, look at the pelvis, bro. And from the other medical examiner, you see how many X's are up there? Right pelvic fracture, sacrum fracture, spinal fracture. That's all around the pelvis, bro. So she's bleeding like a faucet, like literally a faucet, because apparently the biggest artery be running through your pelvis. So everybody's getting hit by like the waist down. Some people are getting flung up, and then some people are getting hit by the waist and drugged down underneath the car. And clearly, even on my Patreon, there's a video I posted a while ago. Clearly, he's running over human beings. All you see is the truck go, voop, 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 voop. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, no regard, zero regard for life.
On Ms. Sorensen.
Virginia Sorensen had blunt trauma to her head, neck, torso, and right leg.
Were you able to determine a cause of death for Ms. Sorensen?
Yes, multiple blunt force traumatic injuries.
Every single person was multiple blunt trauma force traumatic injuries, right? Almost everyone, I'd say. And that just shows how bad they got hit, bro. They had no idea what killed them first. Whenever you say multiple blunt trauma killed the person, it's like they're fucked up, Like a person falling out of an airplane. I would say that's multiple blunt force trauma. We don't know what killed him first. It could be his brain smushed. It could be his back tore up. It could be his pelvis. It could be any of those things. But it all happened around the same time. And all of them were fatal. So, hey, multiple blunt force trauma. Probably the worst way to die, because you're getting ragdolled in any one of those situations,
And can you describe for the jury which injuries were fatal injuries?
Virginia
Objection. Reading the
Sorensen.
witness.
Overruled.
Virginia Sorensen also had a high cervical spine injury with laceration of her brainstem.
Oh,
She also had
I never
laceration.
realized it was so brutal the way he drove over these people. Now the examiners are kind of breaking it down, letting us realize, but that shit is brutal, bro. Why not stop?
To her heart, either of which would have been fatal.
And is that consistent with being struck by a moving SUV weighing approximately 3,300 pounds?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
Yo, shout out my camera for dying on me. Hell yeah. Let's continue.
And did you perform, or did you create a diagram which displayed the injuries on Jackson Sparks?
Yes.
Do you have in front of you Exhibit 64, which is an autopsy protocol for Jackson Sparks?
Yes.
And I'm going to display what's been marked as State's Exhibit 165 on the screen in front of you. And for the record, the state did provide Mr. Brooks with a autopsy protocol for Jackson Sparks, as well as a copy of Exhibit 165, which is the diagram. Ma'am?
Objection. I do not consent to that name. Nor do I know that individual. For the record.
Please continue.
Thank you. Ma'am, does Exhibit 165, the diagram in front of you, accurately show the findings that you made during the autopsy of Jackson Sparks?
Yes.
Okay. I would ask the court to admit State's Exhibit 64 as well as State's Exhibit 165. Can you describe for the jury the injuries that you observed? Strike that. When did you do your external and internal examination of Jackson?
November 27, 2021.
Why was that later than the others?
Jackson went to the hospital. He was pronounced brain dead on November 23rd.
Damn.
And again, is there any reason why it would take till the 27th to perform the autopsy?
Objection.
He was
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Overruled. You may answer.
Jackson was in the hospital. He became an organ donor, which often requires a couple of extra days.
Oh, shout out the parents. And that kind of ties into what my cousin does. She takes the organs out of people who are organ donors, does her thing, boop bop, whatever, takes what's good, and then I think they pass it on to like because the autopsy person kind of destroys everything. I think they cut everything open, they check. It just kind of like renders the rest of the organs useless if you're going to autopsy first. So you go to my cousin first. She'll strip you down, take your kidneys, take your whatever, and then you'll go to autopsy. But I mean, shout out the parents for actually letting him be an organ donor, because I know you're gonna use my child as an organ donor. You got me? Nah, no sir, no. He's gonna have a burial, and that's gonna be the end of it. Organ donor. But I know that's probably the right thing to do. But yeah, shout out the parents for letting that happen.
Can you describe for the jury his injuries?
It's always the kids that get you, bro. It don't matter how professional you are. You could tell she's getting emotional. Let's see if she's able to make it through.
Jackson had bruising around both of his eyes. He had a large bruise to the left side of his forehead. He had undergone a craniectomy where the neurosurgeon removes a portion of skull to relieve pressure on the brain from brain swelling. That's the large oval depicted on the left side of the skull in the diagram. He had trauma to his brain. He had bleeding around his brain inside his skull. He had multiple bruises to his brain.
Damn.
He also had a separation of his skull from his cervical spine. And he had 2 rib fractures on the right side.
At least he got up out of here the fastest. That shit sounds all brain injury, all brain related. And I've had a few brain injuries. That shit will take you up out of here. You're in a daze or you're dead. So, I mean, I was in a daze a couple times and I didn't know where the fuck I was. But if you get hit that hard, I'm pretty confident that he wasn't really in much pain for like any of that time. It was just impact and that was it, you know?
Of death.
Complications of craniocerebral injuries due to blunt force trauma to head.
And what injuries of those were fatal?
His head injuries.
And would that be consistent with it being struck by a moving SUV weighing approximately 3,300 pounds.
Yes.
Objection, hearsay.
Overrule her answer, Ms. Young.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
And how do you stand in front of the damn jury saying objection, objection? I don't consent to be it. When this lady is literally breaking down, talking about the child that you fucking turned into a science experiment at this point. Like, what the fuck, bro? That shit was terrible. Like a craniorectomy, removing part of the brain, they're doing that just to see. They're just doing that to see what happens. Like, I know you couldn't live your life without having part of your brain because we only unlock a certain amount of it and certain pieces could get cut off, whatever. But I think when they take it to that extreme, they're kind of just hoping for the best. Just hoping for the best.
Cross-exam.
1 second.
1 second, huh? Look at him trying to be. I love how he tries to mirror everybody's emotions. She's all, you could tell, fragile and emotional. Now he's trying to get fragile and emotional. Let me get to her level so that the jury could tell that I'm really deeply caring about this child. Bro, he don't give a fuck about kids, men, women, nobody but himself with his little long ass pinky fingernail. All he is a failure and an addict. That's what I would say. What are you doing? This is a fucking joke. I swear to God. This is a fucking joke. He should just cry. That'll really sell it. Why don't you go ahead and cry?
Do you have any questions for this witness?
Just 1 second.
Oh, this guy kind of pisses me off, bro. I swear to God, get a bat. Let me stop talking like that. Bro is the worst human being you could think of, man. He's over here taking a moment of silence for the kid. What are you doing? Shh. I know you're not holding emotions back, so it has to be a moment of silence, right? Because he don't got no emotions. He'll probably cry for himself. He'll probably get excited for himself. I doubt this guy's ever got excited for someone else's success. Ever, been hyped up for somebody else's, achievements. Or been down for somebody else's failure. He doesn't have that type of empathy. Your boy over here, narcissistic. Fully narcissistic. No fucks given about anybody. Give me a second. I know these guards want to hurt this
I
guy.
apologize to the court for taking so long.
I would tell him we're going to end this examination if you don't start. Ugly ass.
Do you know why the decision was made to why the decision was made for Jackson to become an organ donor?
Objection is irrelevance.
Sustained.
It's hilarious how this guy acts. It's actually crazy. Like, that's disrespectful as fuck, to be real with you.
Did you end up doing any more autopsies besides those 3?
This is disrespectful. This is getting to the point of disrespect. Bro is faking the emotion, trying to get some type of sympathy from the crowd. That is a form of disrespect. I would take that as like if I was the parents, man, if I could see him on the way out, I'd take a few months of jail time just for socking them out unconscious. You know what I mean? I, Officer, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Take all right. I'll, I'll take the month and change. It's all good. I'll take the month. It's cool.
As it relates to this case or some other case, sir?
This case. To this case.
Did you hear the question?
Could he please repeat it?
Please repeat your question.
As far as this case, those are the only 3 autopsies that you did.
Yes, Jackson Sparks, Virginia Sorensen, and Leanna Owens.
Can you recall when when they were brought to the hospital?
Virginia Sorensen and Leanna Owens were pronounced at the scene. Jackson Sparks was transported to the hospital.
I'm assuming that's Waukesha Memorial.
He was transferred to Children's Hospital of Wisconsin.
See, and I promise you, 100%, this has nothing to do with his feelings. Some people might be like, oh, maybe he's feeling remorse, or oh, maybe no, he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck at all. He's laughing at this bitch. Like, he's like, man, this bitch is stupid in his mind. That's what he's saying. Bro has zero regard, does not care. And that's why I say it's so disrespectful, because bro is over here really trying to put on a show, really trying to put on the whole show. Like, he wasn't just cussing out the judge, giving her mean looks all day, saying crazy shit in front of the jury. He's really putting on this, this face of regret now. And he does this every once in a while. He'll be like, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm just, still tender about the whole situation. If you don't shut the, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, open-handed slaps all day. That's all he needs, bro. Just open-handed slaps and isolation.
Upon first tending to the victims, were you in the knowledge of what happened?
Yes.
Yeah, this is so deep, bro. This is so deep. It's so deep for you.
And that knowledge was given to you immediately?
Could you please repeat?
That knowledge was given to you immediately when you were called to tend to him?
Yes.
Were you called to tend to any other victims of the incident? Or just the 3?
Jackson Sparks, Virginia Sorensen, and Leanna Owens.
You didn't tend to anyone else?
No, you dumbass. She answered that.
Browns.
Overruled. She may answer.
No.
further questions.
Thank you. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Dr. Shield. You may step down.
No further questions. He trying to mirror the behavior, bro. Trying to mirror that behavior a little bit. That is crazy. Disgusting. This is probably one of the more disgusting videos from Brooks because you know he don't give a rat's ass about prosecution, the examiner's feelings, or she could give a damn about the mother and father's feelings. You think that's remorse? Hell no. You have to be blind to think that shit's remorse. Nothing close to it, friends. Nothing close to it. You guys let me know in the comments what you feel about that performance. Was it? I feel like it was a decent one. It was a decent performance if we didn't know who this person was. But at this point, we know who this person is through his mama, through his nephew, through everybody, bro. It's like everybody knows who this guy is. No good for anything, and that's actually sad because most men can find purpose in something. This guy, no good for anything. No good for anything. I feel like the cell that he's going to be in is kind of a waste of space. It's like, damn, we have to put your ass in here. Might as well go under the ground. Go 6 feet down there, and then that'll be the space that you can run wild down there. Do all those, afterlife things. You know what I'm talking about? That's crazy. But anyways, people, that was pretty much it. We're going to come back at you guys. We're going to check out this YSL RICO case, actually. I'm going to check it out, see if you guys are interested. Look out for that video. Until then, you already know the vibes. You already know the drill. Stay inside. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.